Good morning. Welcome back to my second part of my Montenegro video. Yesterday, I walked from my Airbnb all the way to this destination here, and I showed you this view here, which is the first lookout on Kotor Bay. It's not the best lookout, but it is the first one. And this morning I'm going to be walking down these windy roads, and we're going to get to see some much better views of Kotor Bay. And we're going to be walking down all the way to the bus station. So for those of you who have been following me since the beginning of my channel, you know that I've been away for 2 months. The last official video that I did, aside from the one I did yesterday, was the video on Costa Rica. And I didn't stay in Costa Rica for very long. I was there for 4 weeks, barely 4 weeks. And then I went back to Montreal. The reason I went back to Montreal is because I had to resolve some luggage issues. When I left Montreal back in July 2022, I was traveling with a 71-liter backpack, as well as a carry-on on wheels, the type of thing that you lug around. And I quickly realized when I arrived at my destination, Dominican Republic, that carrying around that kind of luggage is not really good for the type of traveling that I do. So my motivation was to change my luggage setup to travel strictly with a backpack, the kind of backpack that you can carry on the plane, which is a 40-liter backpack, and also a personal item bag. So I did that, and I also resolved some personal financial issues that I had to deal with, taxes and all that kind of stuff. And once that was done, I was able to carry on with my travels. Now, originally, I was supposed to go to the Eastern Bloc of Europe, Poland, and also Hungary, and all those Eastern Bloc countries. And I was supposed to go down to Montenegro, Albania, Greece, possibly Turkey and Armenia. And first, before going there, I was supposed to stop in Switzerland for just a couple days to visit family, which I did. In Switzerland, I ended up staying there I was there for about 3 weeks. And unfortunately, the weather didn't really cooperate much, so I ended up doing only one video, which is a 90-minute walking tour. And the walking tour I wasn't able to upload on YouTube because the internet was too slow. And over here in Montenegro, the Airbnb where I'm at, the internet is even slower. So uploading that Swiss tour is not going to happen anytime soon. Probably not before I reach my next destination. And I don't know where that will be yet. So here's a nice view, as I just showed you. You can see here Kotor Bay, and I believe right in there's a cruise ship, and it's a popular port for the cruise ships. That's where they typically tend to anchor themselves. These windy roads, they go like pretty close to cliffs. So if you have an aversion to heights, then you might feel a little bit uneasy over here. Actually, it's not so bad. but the view is really quite nice. So yeah, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be in Montenegro, for the reason being that we're entering the high season, and I just noticed that it's getting pretty hard to find a place to stay that is not too expensive. So I've been looking in the area of Kotor Bay, as well as Tivat, Budva, and all those areas are very much in demand as we get into the summertime. So yeah, not sure how long I'm going to be here. So the Airbnb where I'm at right now is not exactly in Kotor Bay. More specifically, it's in I guess a district called Skiljari. Now, to get down to Kotor Bay, the regular road is to go where this truck is going right now, but that's actually longer. That's the longer route. The 5-kilometer route that I've been taking is actually going this way here, which allows me to cut through directly to the downtown area. So by going down this way, well, first of all, it's a much quieter walk, and also get to see a little bit of the quaint looking downtown area. Well, not the downtown area, but kind of a neighborhood, which is very nice to look at. Very quiet neighborhood. When I first came down this road to go to downtown Kotor, I made the mistake of going down this way, thinking that it was a shortcut. But as it turns out, it's a dead end. You go all the way to the bottom just to realize that you can't actually exit from there. So yeah, I ended up doing extra exercise, and as you can see, the road is a steep climb up. So yeah, there's a lot of little roads like that appear to be shortcuts, but actually don't end up anywhere. They just end up taking you to a community of houses, but with no evident exit, aside from coming back up the way you came in. So as we approach downtown, it gets to be a lot noisier. Although the road that I'm taking right now to go down, this specific road here, is kind of quiet. The top of the road where I was going down earlier tends to have a lot more traffic. This is a very nice view. The Airbnb where I'm staying at right now is very quiet. Admittedly, there's no public transportation, but if you have a car or if you like walking, then the Airbnb for 15 euros a night is pretty awesome. It's a complete studio. I was supposed to show you yesterday what the studio looks like, and I didn't get a chance to show you, so I'll try to add that to this video before actually ending it. But yeah, for 15 euros, it's a pretty good deal. And walking down and then walking back up, it's honestly not that much of an issue. I wouldn't recommend it during the fall season or the winter season, but during the summer it's a very pleasant walk. You know, you don't want to be in a hurry. You just want to walk and enjoy it, and it's great. This is really, really nice. Awesome. Actually, when I do videos like this, the video really doesn't do justice to what we're seeing in reality, because the GoPro that I'm using, well, all GoPros are like that. They tend to have wide views. Like it's not exactly a 50 millimeter view. Even though I'm on a linear lens, it's still not equivalent to a 50 millimeter. So you don't really see it as big as I do in reality. But take my word for it, it's very nice. The view is really, really nice. Another windy road. We can still see the cruise ship right there. These cruise ships tend to coordinate their anchorings with the weather, I think. Every time it's sunny, you can see a cruise ship, which means that on that day, the town of Kotor, that whole area here, is going to be jam-packed with tourists. When I arrived in this region, well, not this region, but in the Baltic states, I made the mistake of landing in Dubrovnik. And I think the reason for that is because Dubrovnik is probably the biggest and most popular airport on the whole Adriatic Sea coast. So when I was shopping around for tickets, Dubrovnik kept coming up, and the best tickets that were coming out were for destination Dubrovnik, so I ended up landing there. However, when I landed in Dubrovnik, the first thing I realized was that in order to cross the border into Montenegro, I would have to get a bus ticket. Now, the thing is with the bus tickets is that they're not available directly from the airport in Dubrovnik. You have to go downtown Dubrovnik, which is a bus ride. It's about 40 minutes or something like that. And once you're in Dubrovnik, then you can take another bus ticket to go to Kotor Bay in Montenegro. But you have to cross the border, right? And Montenegro is not part of the European Union, so you have to go through customs. And when we went through, it was very busy, and there was about maybe 30 minutes to 45-minute delay, and it was pretty bureaucratic. I traveled on my Swiss passport as opposed to my Canadian passport, thinking that it would be easier, but it didn't really make much of a difference. Anyway, so I arrived in Kotor Bay, and I wasn't sure that I had arrived at the right destination because all the street signs, well, all the signs that mentioned the how many kilometers before you reach the cities were all written in either Serbian or Croat or something like that. So I didn't really know where I was, and I didn't want to get a SIM while I was in Croatia because I knew that it wouldn't work in Montenegro. So bottom line is that I wasn't sure. I was I knew I was going in the right direction, but I didn't know when I was getting there. And towards the end of the trip, because it took much longer, I was beginning to think that the bus driver had actually gone right through Kotor Bay and was on his way to Budva, which is much further. So anyways, when we arrived in Kotor Bay, and I didn't know that we were there, I left the bus feeling a little bit anxious about whether or not I was in the right place. And in the anxiety, in the excitement, I forgot my bag in the luggage compartment. Yeah, not a good idea. And then the bus left. And then the Airbnb owner actually recognized me. And actually, I was so happy to see her that that's what made me forget my bag in the luggage compartment. So we took off, we headed towards her car. She was going to take me to the Airbnb. And that's when I realized, oh my God, I forgot my backpack in the luggage compartment. But she was very, very nice. I don't know how she did it, but she managed to get my bag back and brought it to me in the Airbnb the same night. She made a few calls. She got in touch with the actual bus driver, and next thing you know, I had my bag. So that was quite fortunate. So lesson learned: don't get too excited, and don't get too stressed, and you won't forget your bag in the luggage compartment. Yeah, we're still kind of high up here. It's a little steep. You wouldn't want to cut down through this way. There's no path here anyway, so. The views are nice, but you still get quite a few cliffhangers, if you know what I mean. So if you're not too fond of heights, then it's probably not a good idea to walk down this way, unless you want to see some goats. Yeah, that's their territory. It's amazing that they're actually up here. I'm not sure how they managed to climb all the way up here, but here they are, grazing. I'm not sure if this is an abandoned house, or if it was destroyed by war. So we're approaching an area. We're approaching the downtown area. We're starting to see some residential buildings around here. Nice and quiet. I think I'm going to stop for a coffee. There's a little place just down the road around here where you can get a coffee for I think it's 250 euros. So let's do that. There's a lot of old architecture in Kotor Bay. For example, this church here. I don't know how old it is, but based on much of the old ancient architecture around here, I gather that it must be around 12th century. I'm just going to check to see if there's a date somewhere. No, there's no date. But it looks pretty darn ancient, that's for sure. All right, let's check this place here to see if they're open. They're supposed to be open at 8 in the morning. Something tells me that they're not open. Yeah, they're closed until May 3rd. It's funny because the other day I asked them, "Are you guys open every day?" They said, "Oh yeah, 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 every day, Monday, 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to I think he said 9 p.m. or something like that." I guess they forgot that they were closing on May 3rd for one reason or another. So let's continue. All right, so we're approaching the downtown area. There's going to be some traffic and it's going to be noisier. There's a nice church. I don't know why, like whenever we see some ancient structures, old places, it's always associated with religion. When I was in Mexico, most of the places that I saw that were ancient were religious artifacts, religious architecture. Same thing in the Dominican Republic, monasteries and places like that. I guess religion goes a long way. A lot of places to rent, a lot of apartments, a lot of places to rent, but they're pretty expensive. Even if they don't get booked, they tend to be pretty expensive. In any event, I'm still going to try to see if I can rent one of those places. Because I'm still here for another 2 weeks, but I wouldn't mind sticking around for as long as possible. Maybe even whole month of May, June, because there's a lot to do here. And from here, the good thing about Kotor Bay is that you can take buses. You can take the bus to go to different cities around here and visit a lot of stuff. So, I mean, if I can find a cheap place for like rent it for the month, then that would be actually quite the best thing. It would be ideal. And on top of that, the cost of groceries here it's not very expensive. It's actually cheaper than Montreal, and definitely probably cheaper than many places in the States as well. And definitely cheaper than Switzerland, because I found Switzerland to be darn right expensive. I mean, a croissant and a coffee, with typically at Starbucks, you could get a croissant and a coffee for around the equivalent of $12. So now, admittedly, Starbucks is more expensive than other places, but I found in general most of Lausanne was pretty expensive, except for one small place that I found where I could get for 3 francs, I could get a croissant and a coffee, although it was a small coffee, but still, coffee and a croissant for 3 francs. So that's about $4, $4.50. So yeah, that was pretty good. But here in Kotor Bay, even though it's touristic, the cost of groceries is still cheaper than what you would get back in Canada. But if I were to go, for example, in Tivat, which is just a little bit higher up, I think it's higher up or higher down, I don't remember, of where I am right now, groceries would typically be even cheaper. But still, this place is a good place to stick around for a month or two and then plan visits from here to other areas like Budva. But definitely I mean, I wouldn't want to stay in Budva because it's probably very, very expensive from what I can see with the Airbnbs. But definitely as a place to visit for one day, apparently it's very, very nice. It's beautiful to see. So yeah, I'll see what I can find around here. If I can find something that's reasonably cheap, like something around 15 euros or so, in that general range, I'm going to be sticking around for longer. Otherwise, if I can't, then yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of going down to Albania. So we're kind of in the downtown area right now of Kotor. You can hear it with the traffic. Look at these mountain ranges. They're so close that you can almost touch them. Well, at least from my perspective. All right, let's cross here. We're going to walk by the bus station where the place where I lost where I forgot my luggage, and that's the bus station from where you can pretty much go anywhere by bus. And then from there, we're going to walk towards the entrance of the old Kotor town. It's an ancient town that dates back to the 12th century. And it's absolutely magnificent in there, but we won't actually go in. That'll be probably my part 3 video. And then hopefully I'm going to have a part 4 video, which is going to be the fortification of Kotor Bay. So all that to come. So we're at the bus station right now. This is it right there. Let's cross over. This is the main bus station. So all the buses from here go to different cities around Montenegro. They can even take you to Albania and Croatia. You can buy your tickets right in the little office over there. Now, the one thing to watch out for when you buy tickets here is the quality of the buses. Most buses, they don't have bathrooms. They advertise that the modern ones do, but that's just marketing on the website. The truth is that almost every single bus doesn't have a bathroom and it doesn't have Wi-Fi. On the much longer trips, you will find those types of services, but on the shorter ones, like an hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours, chances are you're not going to find much in terms of services. Costs are pretty decent. You're looking at around 25 euros, depending on where you're going. So I went from Dubrovnik all the way to Kotor Bay, which is it's advertised as 2.5 hours, excluding the wait time at customs. And I paid 25 euros. So not bad. In Canada, it would be more expensive for a similar distance. Yeah, so that's that. Let's continue. So we're approaching one of the main entrances to the old city, the old town of Kotor. The old town of Kotor has 3 main entrances. That's how big it is, and it's a fortified town. So here's the port where we were seeing the cruise ship. All of these people are disembarking. One of the main entrances to the old town, like I said, is right here. Right here. So you can enter. I'm not sure my finger is pointing at the right place, but there's a little passage here that you can walk. where there's a man coming out. So you can see this fortification here, and it goes all the way down this way. You can see it extend all the way over there. It's very nice. What you see in the pictures when you look at Montenegro coast is realistic. The water is very transparent. It's very clear. Not sure why it's clear like that, because when I was in Switzerland, when I did my 90-minute tour, I was in the right by the lake, Lake Lema, and the water, you can see in that video how clear the water is. So all of this here is a continuation of the fortification. So I just crossed the street here, see if we can get a better view. So you can see the water is very nice, very clear. There's actually a beach in that direction. It's a small pebble type of beach. It's not white sand, but it's very, very nice. Hopefully I'm going to be able to do a video of that as well. And there are a lot of boat tours that you can have here. Group tours and individual private tours. See these fortifications up here? This is part of the Old Town fortification. All the way up there and up here, right there. All of this is part of the fortification. You can actually walk up there using stairs, 1,450 steps of stairs. You can take the ladder of Kotor, which is a free path. You go up a ladder. I know what you're thinking. It's a short ladder. It's not a big ladder. Anyways, it's a free path to get to the same destination. Otherwise, you end up paying €8. It's not that expensive, but actually, it's worthwhile going up there using the ladder, and then you walk down using the steps. I'm not sure if you have to pay to go down. Probably not. But yeah, it's probably worth it, and I'm going to be doing a video of that, I hope. If you like markets, I think once or twice a week they have a fruit and vegetable market right in that area here. Nice boats. Kotor Bay is really, really nice when it's sunny. When it's cloudy and rainy and not too warm, then I gotta tell you, it really sucks. But otherwise, it's very nice. Get some beautiful scenery here. Really something to be enjoyed slowly. Now, here's the main entrance to Kotor Old Town, where you see that crowd of people. They're just jamming right in there, right in that area here. And there's a little tourist booth right next to it. So yeah, it can be jam-packed in that town, which means that when I'm gonna go in there, I might do it on a cloudy day or even a rainy day, just to avoid having too much of a crowd. Otherwise, it's literally difficult to walk in there, even though it's a big town, and it's very easy to get lost in there. There are so many little streets, nooks and crannies, and there's no cars in there whatsoever. It's strictly pedestrian. So yeah. Anyways, I'll see how it goes with the weather and the time I've got left. I've got 2 weeks left here, so hopefully I'll have time to do a video in there. That's one big boat. If you ever wondered what a cruise ship looked like from close, then this is it. These things are massive. And apparently it's one of the smaller ones. So it's pretty good that they have all of this tourism that comes here, because unfortunately Kotor Bay doesn't have its share of tourist money from the government. Apparently most of it goes to larger places like Budva. The unfortunate thing with all of this tourism is the crowds, and there are lots of crowds around here on a sunny day. Anyways, that's it for this part of Kotor Bay. I'm going to be adding, I'm going to be doing part 3 and part 4 in the next week or two. Part 3 is going to be inside the old town. I'm going to try to do that on maybe on a cloudy or rainy day, so that there are less people, less crowds. And I'm also going to be climbing all the way up there. That should be interesting as well. So anyways, that's it. But before I go, I'm going to be making I'm going to be showing you around my my studio where I'm staying at right now. All right. So I'm leaving you with these images. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Well, we're back up to the Airbnb. Actually, we're not. We're up the mountain. We still have to go down that little path to catch the Airbnb. That was a tough hike. It's pretty hot, and it's getting to be humid. So that was tough. There are the sheep that we encountered earlier. They don't seem to care too much about human presence. Hey buddy, how are you doing? Okay, so let's walk back to the Airbnb. We're just a few minutes out. There's one road here going up the mountain. There's another one here going to another side of the mountain. And there's another one here going somewhere. But we're going to this one right here. Ironically, when I want to go to downtown, this little path here is actually the toughest because it's a steep climb. But going down is good. That's fine. And we're going down some more, all the way down. We're getting there. It's about maybe 500 meters, that whole distance between the main road and the actual entrance to the Airbnb. But we're getting there. And here we are. Well, it was a nice walk. 1 hour to go down and 1 hour to come back up. Here's my Airbnb. I'm at the bottom. It's actually pretty nice. It's very quiet at night. Can't hear a thing. And this is mine. This is where I'm staying right now, right here. Single studio. Nothing here. And there you go. Very simple studio, bathroom, shower, place to do my work, television. Got a little cupboard for clothes and a little kitchen. And I've got my bed, queen size bed. And that's it. Very simple. And that's the neighborhood cat who keeps visiting my studio. For some reason, he thinks I've got food to give him. It's been recommended not to feed them. Kotor is actually the capital of cats. They've got a lot of cats around here, not just up here where I am, but in the old town. They've got cats everywhere. So yeah, they recommend not to feed them, but they do feed them. They feed them every night. It's actually a tradition. But I don't want to feed these cats around here because once I'm gone, well, the cats will be out of luck. So anyways, that's it. That's it for me. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 3, either tomorrow or after tomorrow or the day after. It'll depend on what the weather is like and how my legs are, because after walking down and walking back up, my legs get to be stiff. So we'll see. All right, cheers. Have a good one.